Jake turns on O'Brien. Molly is just going through a phase. And a big surprise, Julian wants details about O'Brien's sex life. Hey, everybody, and welcome to The Seventh Rule with Cirroc Lofton. We are
Hello, everybody.
Joined by a very special guest, Miss HANA HATAE, who plays Molly O'Brien in today's episode.
Hello, hello.
You guys doing well?
Yeah.
Yeah, doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So the big elephant in the room is Molly, played by HANA. You had a big attitude today in today's episode.
Oh, I was such a brat. After watching it, I was like, really? I was really good at being a brat. Like, I don't know if I was acting in that right there or if that was just my total personality, like, shining through. It was pretty great.
Yeah, I was wondering what they did to get that reaction out of you.
Right? They did it.
I was wondering, were they doing scary faces? Did they have a guy dressed up as Rumpelstiltskin?
I was just going to say
the Rumpelstiltskin. Terrifying. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. They knew the magic thing to do was just bring out Rumpelstiltskin, and
because you give O'Brien the meanest face I think he's ever gotten. I think we've seen on the show so far.
It's pretty.
It's such a good dirty look.
Yeah. That's what you get. That's what you get for, being not my dad, being somebody else.
Yeah.
That's right.
I can sense these
So
things.
you think that Molly could tell, or you think Mommy was just like, Molly, that's not really your dad. Don't be nice to him.
I'm going to pretend it and say that I think she was just very intuitive, but I'm sure Mom had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I didn't know what her deal was until after the show was over. So while I was watching, I was like, wow, he's raising the real BITC. What's wrong with this kid?
Though? I'm like, you haven't seen him for so long, and you're just going to mad dog him and not care. Really?
Yeah. So I thought it was crazy. But then, then we start to get the... This episode felt like a Twilight Zone episode to me.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, the whole time there's like something going on. Twilight Zone always does that, where they leave you in the middle of a situation and you're trying to figure out what's going on, and they kind of reveal little by little until the end, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what I felt about this episode. I was like, wow, this is a typical like Twilight Zone style storytelling.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it a lot, actually, because I'm a big fan of Twilight Zone, and I've watched a lot, if not all the episodes. Everybody says they watched all the episodes, but there's too many episodes to watch. But I think it was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Seemed like it was one of those bottle episodes, right? Because everything was just a little tight shot of somebody or two people in a room. Every single time it was just like two people, or at the very end there were four, people, or 5 or 6 at the very end. But it was definitely one of those lower budget ones where it doesn't really affect any of the big story. Like it's completely condensed, and there are no repercussions from this episode to any further ones. And it was just like from room to room to room. I don't think we even saw the promenade at all. I mean,
no, there was a promenade scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were in that, Cirroc.
I was in the promenade scene. Yeah.
Were there any extras there? I remember you guys walking and talking for a second, but
yeah, there were some extras there. It was a bottle cap episode, in the fact that you didn't really have to know any of the other prior storylines to just watch the episode. It's just like stands alone. I watched it with my mom, and she said, "Oh, this Star Trek is good." So she's like, oh, because she didn't have to know anything. She didn't have to follow any alien histories or beefs between planets. It was kind of like, what's happening with O'Brien right now? That's basically what's going on with O'Brien,
Now, has your mom watched any Star Trek before, or what?
Well, she sometimes watches episodes while I'm reviewing them, but this is the first time I think she sat down from start to finish, and I thought it was funny that she was entertained. She's like, "Well, this is entertaining. I could watch Star Trek."
Nice, you converted her.
Just hooked
Well,
her, yeah.
yeah. Well, I don't know, but she hasn't watched Star Trek, which is another person to checklist on that hasn't watched the show. So now her watching the show is kind of fun to sit and watch it with her. And you, by the way, Hannah, are probably the cutest baby I've ever seen, or child I've ever seen. You're just like the most adorable child.
The cutest, angriest child in the
Well,
world.
yeah, you just
Like Grumpy Cat, like so angry but so cute.
Yeah, it's so angry that it makes you cute.
Right?
yeah. It's just I don't know. It's just everything. You're just so adorable, and it's just like you want to pick you up and hold on to you. Like,
Just like save me from my maybe not my father. Like I was a little confused in the beginning if that was really him or if that was the clone of him.
Mm.
Which is you gave that away really well. I mean, however they made you play that, it was early in the show, so it gave you a beat that you know what I mean, that everybody else was playing, which was weird.
Something is off, and you
something is off.
Figure it out. Yeah. That's what I liked about the episode, though. It was very suspenseful. Like the whole time, you're like, all right, something's up. You think one person, like your character acted totally normal, and I think that's the only one. But everyone else was kind of off, and you're like, I don't really understand why. Like, are they the people that have been like changed or taken over, or was it my dad, O'Brien? You know?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. Jake was the only one that. He still acted a little bit like, something was up, but he was acting like himself, whereas the others, it seemed like they were all acting not like themselves.
Yeah.
That they were just putting on some weird front, or that they were really an alien species with some, hidden veil pretending to be them or something like that. Whereas Jake was the only one that was, it was just Jake that was like, hey, Chief, you might want to just go do what they say.
Yeah, I thought I snitched him out at the end, right at the last second. But
I was so sad. I put A2, Jake.
I know.
I know. I turned into the snitch,
It's like he was trying to help you out too. Like, how could you do that to him?
Yeah, well, I was the late one on the party bus, so I didn't realize what I was dealing with. But in the beginning, it was fun to see the old Jake, old me.
Oh my God, I was
in my slim outfit.
When you popped up on the screen, I was like, oh my God, it's Cirroc. I couldn't speak. It was amazing. Seeing a little baby.
Yeah, I remember those outfits and being that slim and having all that hair. Such a good time.
Cirroc, what would it take you to get into one of those outfits again?
That's a good question.
I mean, if they tailor-made one for you now, not you, when you were 15.
Yeah, I was going to say a time machine.
Yeah, but I mean, if somebody made that outfit for you, would you kind of like, waltz around at the next Star Trek convention in that?
Yeah, there'd have to be something attached to it that incentivizes that.
Like a barrel of gold?
Something incentivizing that. That's not going to be an easy sell for me, but those things are they're really difficult to walk around in because they are so tight and they zip up in the back. And it's just, it's just like
an old one-piece jumper, I guess.
Jumper. Yeah. And there's not much room to do much, bending down or playing catch. So I it's not the first option for me as an outfit right now. And going through puberty wearing that outfit was like another separate podcast.
Do you want to walk us through that?
I'd rather not, actually, but I'm sure you can imagine that.
I already did, and I accidentally made a face. I hope nobody saw it.
There's nowhere to hide.
Put your imagination to rest now, all right?
Now, Hana, what about you?
I was going to say, if Cirroc would do it, I would do it. But then again, they probably would not have to tailor make. Like, I could probably fit in my old stuff. At least the stuff from the later season.
Yeah, you have the blessing of being petite, and you still have that small frame, so you're blessed.
Yeah, so get me one from the last season. I'll totally rock that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would good. I think they just have to bring the show back. We'll wear the outfits.
Yeah, there you
bring
go.
the show back. Give us a reason.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, no spoilers, but Hana, did you watch Picard?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I know I'm terrible.
Check it out. Maybe,
but I actually don't have a way to watch it right now.
Maybe you'll get called back to be Lieutenant O'Brien or something like that.
Stop it! No, that would be really fun. Honestly, not just to I just think it would be fun to bring the character back.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, Cirroc, that you feel the same way.
I do feel the same way. Also, that Rosalind, I thought, did a very good job in this episode. There were moments where her facials, she just gave a great performance. I particularly enjoyed this scene where O'Brien is about to take a bite of that food, and she's looking at him like, you gonna do it?
Yeah.
And she sold that. She sold that so well, as far as just like there's something in there. I'm trying to get this guy poisoned.
Can we just take a second and say that stew looked like raw sewage? Like
it looks terrifying.
Can we just admit that to ourselves?
Yeah. I can go ahead and do that. Yeah, absolutely.
I think she was looking at him like, "Are you really gonna eat that, dude?"
Nasty.
I wrote down here coffee, Jamaican blend, double strong, double sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that down. We know his coffee order to heart now.
Love that. That's a really cool detail that they like to do. Like a lot of them, like Ractigino, like Dax. Picard, as we know, does tea Earl Grey hot, and now we know what O'Brien does. We know Janeway just likes coffee, straight up coffee. So it's kind of cool.
I thought that the Jamaican blend aspect of it just really resonated. That Jamaica was still on the map. We're still around making coffee now. You seeing?
Yeah, all the way to the future.
Yeah, all the way in the future, Jamaicans still got that best high grade coffee.
Jamaican blend.
But I didn't want to take too much away from you were talking about Rosalind. She did do a great job. I thought it was a great scene when he wanted to try to what do we call
get down?
Yeah, I was going to say hump, but I guess get down is fine.
Sure.
And
yeah.
But
maybe a little better.
The way she played that, the look on her face was just like almost like disgust. Oh yeah, she was disgusted because it wasn't even because she's like, this isn't my husband. This is some dude.
Yeah,
who thinks he is. And
which you don't get all these beats until later, which is almost like why you have to watch it twice so you can fully get it. But
you're right.
In the beginning, you're like, what's wrong with her? Like, actually, it reminded me of my wife when she was trying to tell me no for tonight. I'm not in the mood. Like, all right, I guess it's not going down tonight.
I guess I'll eat my raw sewage instead.
I'll just go eat my sewage and watch some sports on TV. So, no, she was definitely, she sold it. I just like the looks. She really gave good looks. She gave that feeling of being uncomfortable and made it awkward. And
I think I was going to say, I think she must have trained me for that episode with those dirty looks.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did. I'm pretty sure there was just an instruction with you. Yeah. Like she probably, cause she naturally picked you up. She had you close. And I'm sure that, at some point she said, look at that nasty man over there, He's, and you were like, oh,
this guy,
that guy over there. So I'm pretty sure something to that effect. I don't have the details, but that's what it felt like, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something I really liked about having an O'Brien-centric episode that we didn't have before. Because I think previously we've had one or two other O'Brien-centric episodes, but it was about like O'Brien and Julian, or O'Brien, in more about, him and Odo.
I like the family episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's what was cool about it, was that you've got some Jake Sisko mixed in there. You've got Keiko and Molly, this is another one of those episodes where I thought if they had more time, then Nog and Rom could have been involved. You know, it's one of those things where you imagine that Nog and Rom are involved in that storyline, even if they didn't have time to condense it, you know, in the condensed 42-minute version. But it was cool because then you realize that Chief O'Brien is kind of like the central figure in that sphere of, you know, Jake and Nog and Molly and Keiko, you know, so that was really cool. I liked it.
I wrote down one of my favorite things was the last line where he says, Keiko, tell her I love her.
Oh,
no, he almost says her.
He can't even finish it.
Yeah, it was right for a joke. Cute. It was right for a joke when he goes, Keiko, tell her I love. They should have been like, what? Jamaican blend? What? She got it. What?
Strong double sweet? I don't know.
Yeah, what is that message? But it was just like, it was funny because he's looking at him like, that's my life. What you guys do while I was over here knocked out, you know? I know that'd be the first thing anybody would think, like, you know. So Keiko, what about her? I think that's what he said. What about her?
Yeah.
Like, back up.
That's the first thing he's going to say when he gets home. Sweetie,
yeah,
have a talk.
We need to.
So how far did it go with you in this?
Yeah,
guy?
what's going on here?
You know, it wasn't me, right?
About this clone.
Yeah. So
and then she says Molly was real rude to him. He's like, all right, Molly.
That's when I get.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Yeah.
Get an extra little toy.
Daddy's girl.
Yeah. Can't fake her out. Yeah.
I
I thought that was pretty cool.
It's like when I caught my fake mom. Remember when she came back and it wasn't her?
You keep having fake.
I know who my parents are.
They keep trying to trick Molly.
You can't fool me. God, that's so rude.
Why are they torturing this little kid?
You know, somebody's got to get a compilation of all of the Molly scenes. And
it'll outlast like.
And see how many of those are like, you're not my mommy, and go away. I don't like him, and no way, you know, just like
you're a very bad man.
It's like you're the moral barometer, you're the moral compass of the show. You know, like you point out who the spy is.
I can tell. It's just some like sixth sense that I have.
Yeah, you've got it.
Thank you.
You've got it. But yeah, we've had now. So this is. What, the third or fourth O'Brien-centered episode?
I think right around there, yeah.
Somewhere around there.
It's definitely the third, maybe the fourth, probably.
Which is interesting to me because it seems like there's been more Bashir episodes, O'Brien episodes, and Kira episodes than there have been Sisko.
And Odo's had a few, too.
Odo's had a few. So up until this point, Sisko's had the least centered episodes as the star of the show, which is really amazing to me. Just shows you how good the ensemble cast is, and you know he doesn't really have to do too much to carry this load. This is like self-carrying. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we're not supposed to know this at this point in you know the second season, but through the
it's gonna get deeper. Yeah,
through the Dominion Wars, it's all him, and we already know who the cast of characters are. Because they've each had so many episodes with such
developing stories, yeah.
So it works out really. And then later on, when they can add a character like Worf, it doesn't take away from the others because they've all had their time in the sun, you know. And then people like Rom and people like Lita and people like Nog can kind of come up slowly, and it's okay because the other people have all had their time, you know.
Do you remember any of those scenes when you see them, or is that just like all new for you?
Oh, me?
Hana.
Oh,
yeah, Hana. Yeah.
Yes. No. Some of them, like, I don't think I remember filming that scene in particular. But when I watched when I'm slightly older, that's when I remember. Like, I don't remember exactly what episode it is that I remember filming, like where it started. Well, definitely Rumpelstiltskin episode, but I think that was like we already talked about that. Yeah. That's like some crazy.
Do you feel more connected with Rosalind or O'Brien, you know?
Ooh, on the record. Wow.
Oh my.
No, I mean, just, you know, maybe having worked with, or maybe just as a child, you lean one way or another. I don't know.
No, I don't really think I had a particular, I wouldn't say like a favorite or one that I got along with or like felt closer to. They both were amazing. Every time I saw them, they both treated me so well that I don't think I had one or the other that was above the other one. Just don't really know how to put that.
Do you have a favorite scene that you do remember as a child, not watching as an adult, but when you think back to the little, sparse memories of, being a child on that set? Do you have like a favorite memory or a memory that stands out, more than just like the Rumpelstiltskin negative thoughts?
Oh yeah, filming. Well, there was the episode, I'm not sure if we talked about this, when I go back in time, I fall into the time portal.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, that was pretty much every scene that I was in, and that was really, really fun to film.
Because it's basically a Molly episode.
Yeah, it was based around Molly, and just in general, like we filmed it at Malibu Creek, the outdoor scenes, and I used to go there all the time as a child. So like, it was nice kind of going somewhere to film that I had already been multiple times and that I loved going to.
Wow, so you already recognized that place and knew it well, and you're like, this is great.
Yeah, we're just like outdoors having a picnic in a place that I used to go to a lot, so that was really fun. And the swinging scene where I actually fall into the time portal, that are like strapped up into some kind of harness, and they film me like just like flying back and forth on a little rope.
Wow, one of the youngest stunts people ever.
I know. It was really fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Good times.
So we've got just a couple more minutes before we take our first break. I do want to say, what was our little factoids at the beginning? Our little trivioids. That's the one. So you turned on O'Brien, Cirroc. We know
you said turn on O'Brien, and I wanted to start with that actually. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get that right out the way.
You turned on O'Brien, not you turned on O'Brien. you turned.
Okay.
You turned on O'Brien.
He knows how to use words.
Turns on O'Brien.
Jake
Sisko turns on O'Brien.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. So
we gotta talk about this.
I was like, whoa, I don't remember what that scene. Okay. All right. I turned on O'Brien.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta emphasize the words differently when you say it that way. You gotta.
All right.
Yeah.
This is what I want to know. For everybody listening in the comments below, when you first heard that, did you think I said?
Yeah. I can tell you right now, 92%.
Or Jake turns on O'Brien. Let's see. Yeah. I want to see what the ratio is of what people thought.
I'm guessing 90 to 95% of people thought what I thought. And they were thinking, wow.
Hana, you thought
where's this going to go?
I did. I was pretty confused by that.
Because we know where your mind's always at, Brian.
What?
Dirty.
On Golden State Warriors basketball only.
Yeah, Sure.
And the other one was, we'll have to hit this one over on the other side of the break, but Julian, big surprise, wants details about Chief's sex life.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get into that.
We're going to be right back with the seventh rule.